Hello, everyone, tonight. Welcome. On behalf of Breakthrough T1D, I'd like to welcome you to our Breakthrough T1D Educational Series. And we're very excited to present you with more information tonight on your finances and type 1 diabetes. If you've never been to one of our events, welcome. If you've been to one before, welcome back. If you are not watching the Jays game right now to join us, thank you very much. If it goes anything like last night, you won't be missing anything because it'll be done around 3 in the morning. So thank you again for joining us tonight. Just want to give you a little bit of information about Breakthrough T1D. We are a global leader working towards a world free from type 1 diabetes through research, funding, and advocacy. We support people and families in the type 1 diabetes community from the time of diagnosis by helping those living with T1D to have better, healthier, and safer lives while working to find cures. We support anyone with T1D at any age or any stage, including the often underrepresented adult community. As visitors on this land, we would like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the Breakthrough T1D head office is located here where I am in the city of Toronto, historically known as Takaranto, covered by Treaties 13 and the Williams Treaty. And today we are gathered on the traditional lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples. Breakthrough T1D's research and activities takes place across the land where many other Indigenous inhabitants live from coast to coast to coast. We acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people who call this land home. We are grateful to come together today as a community and share these lands as we support each other and work towards a world free from T1D. Just a little bit of information. The Education Series offers information on a new topic approximately every other month. Our next and final event for the year will be a clinician perspective on diabetes devices, and that's going to be taking place on November 19th. We hope you can join us. We also host a virtual connection series on the fourth Wednesday of each month. This is an unstructured opportunity to connect with others with no formal programming. And our last connection series of this year will be taking place on Wednesday, November 26th at 12 p.m. Pacific and 7 p.m. Eastern, and we hope you can join us for that. Just a reminder again that we're a large group, so if you could keep your mic muted so that we can eliminate any background noise, that would be great. And as well, we are recording this and we'll be posting it to YouTube. So if you don't want to be on video, now is your chance to turn it off as well. And with that, let's get started. Type 1 diabetes has an impact on your finances. And today we will aim to answer your questions about the disability tax credit and the RDSP, among other credits and their impacts on your finances. It is my great pleasure to introduce our speaker tonight, my colleague, Rosalie Sarasua. Rosalie is the Volunteer and Community Engagement Manager for Eastern Canada at Breakthrough T1D, where she has worked for the past 7 years. In a previous career, she was a financial planner, gaining valuable experience in personal finance and financial literacy. This presentation is a passion project that emerged in response to frequent questions from the T1D community about the disability tax credit and the RDSP, and reflects the advocacy work Breakthrough T1D has undertaken to improve access to this very important financial support. And with that, Rosalie, I will turn it over to you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate it. As Ruth said, this is a passion project of mine. I've been working on this presentation. I've been giving it in some form or another for 7 years and many different places. So it really is a labor of love for me. I like forms. So let's start. So sorry, I'm trying to get my head around going in English now. I just did this whole thing in French, so now I'm going to go in English. So we're going to go on 5 different things today. So excuse me, we're going to start the disability tax credit. We're going to work our way to the child disability benefit, Canada Caregiver Credit, Canada Disability Benefit, and then my favorite thing of our time, which is the RDSP, the greatest savings plan that exists in my mind. So disability tax credit. This has been something on people's minds for many years. Now, thankfully, we can take it off the table for a lot of people. We are so happy with this. So the disability tax credit is a non-refundable tax credit that helps persons with disabilities and their supporting people reduce the amount of income tax they may pay. So this is not, we get this all the time. People ask questions like, is this a monthly contribution? What do I get back? This is a tax credit, non-refundable, which means in order to get any money back, you have had to have paid taxes in this year. So that's what is important. The amount also can include a supplement for person under 18 years old. So if your child is eligible for the disability tax credit, you can claim it for them on your taxes as the parent if they don't have an income. So that's really good. And it's to provide greater tax equity by allowing some relief for disability costs. You all know very well that type 1 diabetes is a very expensive disease. So this potentially is one little thing to level a little bit the playing field. And being eligible for the DTC opens doors to a lot of other federal, provincial, territorial programs, such as the RDSP, Working Income Tax Benefit, Child Disability Benefit, Caregiver Credit, et cetera, et cetera. There are a lot of other things that happen when you have the disability tax credit. So what do you need to know? First of all, I'm just going to do a little bit of a background on June 23rd, 2022, why we were so happy that day. The bill C-19 received assent, and that means that allows any individual who is diagnosed with type 1 diabetes will automatically qualify for the disability tax credit. So from the year 2021 to now and forever, people who have type 1 diabetes are automatically qualified. So they no longer have to provide a list of their activities. They don't have to document their hours, but they'll be automatically considered to have met the criteria for life-sustaining therapy, thereby making them eligible. So that was a huge lot of advocacy work that went into this. So it is the only disability that is like this in Canada that has automatic qualification. But there's still paperwork because we all love some paperwork. We need some paperwork. So patients with T1D still need to get their medical practitioner to sign off and confirm that they have type 1 diabetes, which still means our beautiful form T2201 still needs to be filled out. But with the new change since 2021, you no longer have to list eligible activities, provide minimum numbers of time, provide average number of hours per week that you use. So all of that we used to have to do, these 14 hours, as of 2021 to now, no longer have to do it. However, if you want to apply retroactively, because you are here today in 2025, you have never received the disability tax credit, never applied for the certificate for disability, but you've been type 1 since 1998, you can go back 10 years. For 4 years, you're automatically accepted, but the years before, there is some homework to do, and we're going to talk about that. So individuals may apply for the DTC anytime during the year, even if your tax return has been returned. Tax return has been done, because then you can ask for a reassessment afterwards, and they will go back to reassess. So, and actually it's a good practice if you're going to do this paperwork to do it outside of tax season, because then the government is usually quicker about providing answers instead of doing it during tax season when they're very busy. So just a little. So there's two ways to apply. There's a paper form. You print out the paper, you download it, you print it out, you fill out part A, which is the person with the impairment, so a person living with type 1 diabetes, or the parent. However, the parent, it's not them who's getting the certificate, is your child, but you can get the credit, but is your child who has the DTC. So you fill out part A, and the medical practitioner fills out part B. In your case, for T1D, it is the last 2 pages of the whole document. The document is like 17 pages long because it has many impairments. For type 1 diabetes of life-sustaining therapy, it is the last 2 pages. On that page, you just want your doctor to sign, attest that you have T1D, say that it's permanent, and that's it. That's all. You submit the form. I highly suggest Even if you do it on paper and your doctor doctor signs it, that you then scan it and put it into the CRA. You submit it to the CRA through the CRA portal. It's going to be way quicker. It is going to be really good. It's easy. If the medical practitioner says they're going to do it, they have to do it by mail. It's better you wait for it and you take it back. Trust me, you want to wait for it and take it back so that you can submit it to the CRA yourself. If the medical practitioner insists, I don't know why they would, but if they insist, make sure you have a photocopy of it, just to say. There is also a digital form. Many more people are using this part. More medical practitioners are using this part too. You have to ask your medical practitioner if they do use the digital form first. So you sign into my account in the CRA, you scroll down to benefits and credits, select benefits, apply for DTC, and you open it up. It's going to be a little form, name, address, blah, blah, blah. Not even, it's even less than that because it's already your thing. And you're going to click send and you get a reference number. The reference number you're going to bring that with you, the actual number, write on a piece of paper, print it out, whatever you want, bring it to your doctor's office. You're going to give that number to the practitioner and they're going to submit their part of the form digitally. They do have their own type of account to go into it. Actually, when you print it up, it'll give you reference number plus the website. So you need to have that reference number to give to your medical practitioner so they can sign for you. It's very important. It's required for the application form to be electronically submitted. It's the reference number, last name, date of birth is going to match, and it's valid until the medical practitioner submits Part B. You can print it as a PDF. You can view it. So after Part B is completed, the digital form is automatically submitted to CRA once they click send, and they do have an option to save for their records. So it's really up to you to find out from your medical practitioner, do they do the digital form or do you need to print out the form for them to sign it? So it's easy as that. It really is on this case from the years 2021 to now and further. They just have to attest. They are just signing that you live with type 1 diabetes. That is all they're doing. And then you get the disability tax credit. That's it. Now, let's say it is today and you never got the disability tax credit, but you got diagnosed in 2010 and you want retroactive. You want to go through it because there is a lot of money here and we're going to talk about that a bit. So it could be very worth it depending on your income. It could really be worth it to go back as far as possible because they will send you a big check if potentially. So there is criteria to apply for the retroactive credit. The therapy is needed to support a vital function, which for you guys, it's insulin. That's it, that's all. And the therapy needs to be given at least 3 times per week for an average of 14 hours a week. Every day you guys receive insulin, and it takes more than 14 hours to do the steps you need. I have created a few documents to help you on this if you are interested. You can send me an email tomorrow, or there will be an email going out tomorrow with the video of today, and my email will be there, or an email to contact us, and I could send you more information if you would like, because sometimes people get confused or have difficulty remembering what are the activities that are counted as 14 hours and how to really count them out. But trust me, you can count out 14 hours per week for your activities. It's 24/7 living with type 1 diabetes, but only certain activities count. So checking blood glucose levels count in 14 hours, preparing and administering insulin, calibrating the equipment and keeping a log, all these things count. Things that don't count are, of course, the time the pump takes to deliver therapy, because that just happens. Carbohydrate counting doesn't count. exercising, travel time to therapy, going to appointments, buying medication, and recovery between after highs and lows. They don't count. But even with all that, trust me, 14 hours, it is easy to show. So a few tips. So the form T2201, if you are asking for retroactivity, if you want before 2021, there's a teeny little box in the form that says, what are these activities? You're going to forget about that box, and you're going to get out a Word document, Excel document, something else, and you're going to write down your activities minute by minute. I could show you, I could give you examples of that if you would like. And then you're going to bring that also with you to your medical practitioner. So you're going to fill out part A of the form yourself before you go to see your practitioner, or ask, and you fill out as much as possible, and make sure you show your 14 hours. So you're going to go to your medical practitioner with 2 pages of an Excel file or 2 pages of a Word file, and you're going to tell your practitioner to sign those pages too and sign off on your retroactiveness. So it is important that the only time we found resistance in this is some endocrinologists or medical doctors don't want to sign for your these 14 hours. But when you show them actually how long it takes to manage your diabetes, mostly they sign. Now, as of 2021, there should be no hesitation for any medical practitioner to sign the documents, because they are just attesting that you have T1D. They are not making any kind of judgment or times. They're just attesting. So you want to make sure too, the doctor says your condition is permanent, although we are working very hard at Breakthrough T1D for that not to be the case, but for now it's permanent. The CRA bases their decision on what's written on the form and the subsequent additional pages. They can't imagine other things. They don't live a day in your shoes. So you have to write as much as possible on these forms. If you're rejected for your years before 2021, try again. It goes to a different person, and a different person can have a different criteria. So, or you can add a few more things. So how much do you get with a non-refundable tax credit? So the tax credit is $9,872, but always tax credits are 15% of the amount. So what you could get back potentially is $1,480 at the maximum. If you've paid that much in taxes, if you've made enough money, you get a tax return from your, or you will owe them, or you will owe the government less money, one or the other. There's also a non-refundable supplement for those under the age of 18. So this year you could potentially get back $2,344. So this is something to look at with your accountant to make sure they're getting all the credits you need, to make sure your disability tax credit is in your file, and to absolutely check the box. If you do your taxes yourself, make sure you check the box that says DTC. It's in TurboTax. It's in all those softwares, because then you will either owe the government less money, or they will give you a tax refund, or you end up even, depending. But you have to pay tax in order to get something with this. In order for it to, if you make less than the minimum, like less than, I don't know what it is this year, $17,000, you're not going to get anything back from this. However, this does open the door to have the disability tax credit. Even if you do not get money back because of it, it opens the door to many other programs in the Canadian government. So you should get it. Trust me, you want to have this because of all the other programs you have access to. So I'm going to keep going unless there's somebody needs, there's a question. I can't see anything.
There's quite a few questions in the chat, Rosalie. Do we want to just answer them now before we move on to the next one?
Yeah, maybe we answer them now before we move on, because then it could be, I can't see the chat though, but.
So Melissa said we received notice that we are eligible for the DTC. Does that automatically register us or put us on the list to get the child disability benefit?
It does put you on the list for child disability benefit, but if you have to have filled out the form of the disability tax credit in order to get it. You might be it means if you're eligible for it, yes. It means it said they approved it. Yes, then you're eligible to get the credit. It means you receive the certificate of like a disability. You've received the certificate of disability. It means that means you can claim the disability tax credit. You can claim it, and it means that you are eligible for all the child disability benefit, and that if you do receive the Canada Child Benefit, which is the next thing we're going to talk about, which is our next topic.
Sabrina was asking if she already has a DTC for her child. What happens when they turn 18 and start to file their own taxes? Can the parent still have it while they're providing, or do we need to transfer it to the now?
It depends on the situation. You have to talk with it depends on the year that it expires. Please check. Sometimes these are expiring at age 18 or 19 for the kids. You need to check the expiration date, depending on when you got it. And then afterwards, just like any tax, it really depends on the tax situation. Usually after 18, it goes to the person themselves, but in some circumstances, you can claim it. But it's something really to discuss with your accountant. But you must always check the date of expiration of your disability tax credit. So go into your child's Canada Revenue Agency, their portal.
Natasha's asking if the doctor will charge a fee for signing the application form.
Good question. It's possible that the doctor charges a fee. You have to pay the fee. Some doctors charge fees, some don't, but you can also claim it as a medical expense. Get a receipt. You can claim that as a medical expense.
Just two more quick questions. Tatiana is saying, anyone who injects insulin can apply for the DTC, and do you have to apply each year, or is it once in a lifetime?
So that depends. So it depends. Anybody who injects insulin, not necessarily. You have to be, it can be, but you have to be with, the doctor has to attest that you have type 1 diabetes to be automatically receive it, meaning get a yes. If it's not type 1 diabetes, like it's type 2, but you're insulin dependent, you can do it, but you have to show the 14 hours. If it's LADA, but your doctor will say type 1, because really LADA is type 1, then tell them to put type 1. So really it's type 1 diabetes that gets it. Type 2 can potentially get it, like I said, showing the 14 hours that you're doing. And what was the second part of that question?
Do you have to apply annually or once?
So that depends. Once you apply, it will give you a start date and an end date. So it depends on that date. Usually these days it's been forever. So it says 2023 to undetermined, or 2023 to indefinite. That means you have it for life. But if it gives you an end date, which is potential if you're not type 1, sometimes it's like 5 years, and then you have to reapply. So it just depends. You'll just see what it says on your certificate of disability.
Okay. I think that answered everything for the DTC. So I will turn it back over to you, because I know we're already at 25 after 8. So we'll keep going.
So child disability benefit. This is a tax-free monthly payment made to families who care for a child under 18 with a severe and prolonged impairment, which means diabetes. So in order to get this, you have to get the child Canada Child Benefit, and the child must be eligible for the disability tax credit. So they must have their certificate of disability. And right now it is $284 per month for each child eligible. And it starts to go down when you're adjusted
family.
Sorry,
Rosalie, can you just advance your presentation? We're still on the DTC.
Oh, I see it for me. I see it on the... Do you see it now?
No.
Okay. I have it right in front of me with I don't know. Do you see them moving at all?
No, we just see the how much dollars do you receive slide.
Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing for a second and start sharing again.
You have to love Teams.
The picture's not moving and there's no sound.
I think we may have lost Rosalie briefly. Perhaps her internet cut out. I just tried to send her a message. Apologies. Sometimes technology doesn't want to behave. So hopefully she'll be back on momentarily. I can update the days for it's the bottom of the first, still 0-0. There's one out, but they did walk Otani to begin. Rosalie, can you speak and we'll see if we can hear you? If we're not able to hear her, I'll ask if maybe she can send me the presentation and I can deliver it, and maybe she can call in on her phone to do the remainder of it. Okay. I think she's, Margaret, yeah, I think she's doing that and then she's going to come back in. Sorry about this, folks. There's two outs in the bottom of the first now. Freeman grounded into a fielder's choice.
I am sorry about this. I'm back on my phone, but I have no idea what's happening. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Did you want to send me the presentation, Rosalie, and I can run it from now on?
Okay, it's very strange. This has never happened in all the years of doing this. It just stopped working. Hang on one second. I'm going to send it to you.
Okay. Thanks for your
Sorry
patience,
about
everyone.
everyone. This is the first time ever. Hang on. I don't even know if I could send it to you in Teams.
Or you just email it to me. Oh, but your computer's not working. So
Oh, my computer's working. I have everything open. I can see everything. I can see you guys. I can talk to you. I can see the whole thing. It's just frozen.
that's strange.
Yeah, first time ever. Hang on. So sorry, everyone. Like I lost access to everything here. Yeah, does happen to the best of us, but I'm very okay. It's coming. Yeah, I'm sending it now. Ruth.
Okay. As soon as I get it, I will open it up. Okay. Just got the email. Okay, I'm going to start sharing my screen. Let me know when you can see it.
I see it.
Okay.
You got to share it in full screen.
I'm trying, it won't let me download it. So let me just slideshow. Current slide. Okay, can everybody see it?
Yep.
All right,
Yes.
Rosalie.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone for
Okay,
that little
I'm so
pause for a
sorry.
technical break. And
So sorry about this. So, so we were at the child disability benefit. So it's like I said, it's a tax-free payment and for $284 a month, and it's adjusted. It goes down and adjusted once your income is greater than 81,000. So let's go to the next slide, the Canadian Caregiver Credit, please. It's not moving either, Ruth. There we go. Okay. So this one is a new credit. Now it is, I'm putting it here because we've received a lot of questions about it, but it is not, I don't know many people who've been able to access this credit because it is a non-refundable tax credit for if your spouse, let's say you are a person living with T1D, your spouse has to care for you because you can't work or you can't work a lot. So it only applies if the dependent's income is less than 28,000. So if the person with the disability tax credit has an income less than 28,000 and the other person has to care for them, you can be eligible for this. So I'm just putting it in there, but it really, it is for lower income when the person with the disability is makes less than 28,000. But you are entitled to it if you meet this criteria because you have the disability tax credit. Okay, but it's not for if you are caring for a child. It is more if you're caring for, it can be a child, but your child has to be an adult. So you can look into it. It's all on the website for the Canadian government, but I'm just putting it there because we get lots of questions. The next one, Canada Disability Benefit. Yes, so this is new. This is a brand new for 2025. It is a tax-free monthly payment for low-income adults living with a disability. So in order to receive this, you must the threshold is a family income of less than $23,000 if you're single, or $32,500 if you're a couple for the full amount. There is a bit of a progressive reduction beyond these thresholds, but this is a $200 a month non-taxable benefit that you can receive, $2,400 a year, and it is meant for low-income adults who live with a disability. So if you already have the disability tax credit, you should have received a code in the mail. You can apply via My Service in your My Service Canada account. If you didn't receive that, you can go look into the My Service Canada account. If you are eligible for this, you can do it through the website. So let's move, okay, to my favorite part of this, the RDSP. This is where the real money can be. So we will keep going. This one, I can't show the video because we're not going to do it, but the registered, let me explain. Can we go back one? So the registered disability savings plan is a long-term savings plan that helps people with disabilities who are approved for the disability tax credit save for the future. This is like a bucket, like an RSP. You can put whatever type of investments you want into this, but this one is very special because of what the government does. So when you open a plan, you can also get grants and bonds from the government of Canada to help you save for the long term. Now we can move. So why get an RDSP? Well, because of the money. So when you open an RDSP, you also apply for the Canada Savings Grant and the Canada Savings Bond. So the Canada Disability Savings Grant is a matching grant that is paid until December 31st of the year you turn 49. This means that if you contribute to your plan, the government will also contribute to your plan. It's a matching program, or even a greater than matching program. The maximum grant you can receive is $3,500, and the lifetime limit is $70,000, which means the government puts that money in. The Canada Disability Savings Bond is an amount that the government pays into the RDSP for people with lower modest incomes. You are not even required to contribute to your plan to receive this bond. As long as you open an account and you choose your investment plan, the government will put in $1,000 a year for a certain threshold of income, which we'll get to, until you reach the $20,000 maximum. And you can receive a higher amount in any given year. If you're approved for the disability tax credit for some or all of the last 10 years, there can be a little bit of a rollover that can go in potentially into this if you just opened it. The grant can be retroactive. I just see that question there. The grant, I'm not sure. You have to look in the plan. So in some cases, yes, but it has to be open. So it is, there can be a rollover. It's possibly. Can you move to the next one? Okay, oh yeah, I got to. You did get to the next one. So the amounts you receive depends on your family income and the contributions. So you can contribute any amount to your plan at any time of the year, provided you don't exceed the lifetime maximum of $200,000. For each eligible contribution you make, you receive a matching grant under the plan. If you are eligible for the bond, you'll automatically receive it into the plan each year. No contribution is required to receive the bond. And the amount of grants and bonds you receive is based on family income. So for anybody, any adult over 19, it's based on their family income. So let's, for example, you have a student living at your house, turn 19, it's just based on their income. So if it was based on, if you opened it for them at 15, for example, and it was your family income, maybe you didn't get the bonds because you had a family income greater than the amount. But as soon as that child becomes 19, then it goes on to their own family income, which is just themselves. So then potentially they can start receiving the bond as soon as they turn 19. Let's go to the next one. So the bond. So the amount of the bond varies only according to family income. So you are not required to contribute, like I said, to receive this. The amount of the credit you receive varies according to the family income, and the threshold changes every year of the family income. But right now, so for right now, the 2025 calendar year, the family income is from your 2023 tax return. So like almost 2 years behind. So they're like always 1 year behind of your tax return, because right now the tax return they have is from 2024, but they look at 2023. So if your family income is less than or equal to 37,000 and change, you'll receive $1,000. And the portion between 37,000 and 57 and change, there's a portion of the $1,000 that'll go. And if it's greater than 50,000 and change, there will be no bond. So this is just for the bond of $1,000 for low to modest income people. The next one, which is the grant. Now this is where the money really comes in. Can you switch? There we go. So the Canada Disability Savings Grant. For the amount of the matching grant you can receive as the rate is used to calculate your family income. A family income of less than or equal to $114,000 for every if you contribute to a maximum of $500, the government will contribute $3 for every $1 you contribute. If you put $500 in, the government will put $1,500 in. If you contribute to an additional $1,000 to your plan, the government will contribute $2 for every $1. So if you, for the next $1,000, they'll give you $2,000. So to receive the maximum grant amount for the year, you must contribute $1,500 during the year. So if you contribute $1,500, the government will put in $3,500. So you put in your $1,500, they put in their $3,000. It's like you invested $5,000 that year, but you only put $1,500 in. And then of course, oh, I kept it in French here. Revenu supérieur à 114 000. So if your family income is more than $114,000, I have to correct that. If you contribute up to $1,000 each year, the RDSP, the government will match $1 for every $1. So even if you make over $114,000 a year, or your family income is that, the government will still match you $1 for every dollar. So that's still getting so much extra money there that you didn't invest. Can we go to the next one, Ruth, please? Sorry, I had to take a little drink of water. So let's give you a few examples here. Marty has a family income of $37,000. He contributed that year $50 to his plan. The government will pay Marty a subsidy of $150, and he'll also receive the $1,000 bond. So Marty put $50, but the government will put $1,150 for him. Genevieve has a family income of $80,000. She put in $1,200. The government will pay Genevieve a grant of $2,900. So $1,500 for the first $500 and $1,400 for the last $700. The same thing with Miguel, has $110. He's still under the threshold. He contributed $2,000 to his plan, and the government will give him the maximum of $3,500. So since his contribution exceeds the $1,500, he will not receive a matching grant for the last $500, but he'll still get $3,500 for the $2,000 he put in. Let's go on to the next ones. Elsa has her family income of $150. She put in $400. The government will kick in $400. And Michel, $200,000. He contributed $1,200. The government will give him $1,000. So the maximum annual family income. So what is important here is to know that for basically every dollar you pay, especially up to $1,000, they're going to give you money depending on your income. Even at the highest income, the government is still matching your contributions up to their maximum. So yeah, it's really interesting. So I just wanted to illustrate a few little points with the next one. This is just a quick and dirty illustration of how compound interest, you know, the earlier you start, the better it is, and how much difference it makes if you can contribute into an RDSP versus not this type of plan. So this is a 5% annual compound interest, which is very modest. If you start it, there's a final investment values of age 59. So I put, this is the final investment value at age 65. We stopped contributing at age 49, which is what you don't get any more grants after 49. So for example, if you see the purple line, the big, long line, this is for somebody who started the RDSP at age 15, contributed, I say in this case, it's $5,000 because you contributed 1,500. The government put in their 3,500, and there's $1 million at the end of this. If you started the same age, which is the blue line, but you just contributed like it's a regular investment, $1,500, and your money is growing at 5% a year, which is quite modest, you're going to end up at $310,000. So really, no matter how you slice it, for the RDSP, the government adding their money to your match makes it a huge difference in how it goes at the end. But like everything, what is very important is the investment that you use. This can be invested in mutual funds, can be stocks, can be bonds, but you want to talk to your investment advisor to make sure that you are making the most of this investment. You want to grow your money. You want to grow your money. Don't forget, you want to grow your money. So what are the limitations? Let's move to the second to last slides. That there is a list of eligible institutions. It's on the website. Most banks, Caisse Populaire, they can do it. There's a list of institutions where you can do this, and some other investment places. You should not withdraw your money before age 60. You can in certain cases. There's a lot of rules with this RDSP in terms of taking your money out. Before age 60, there are a lot of rules. But it's for a long-term investment. So you are thinking about this as a very long-term investment. Don't think of this as to buy for your house or to do anything like this. This is really for your retirement. Okay, that's what's important. And you can only receive grants and bonds until age 49. So for the RDSP, you can contribute until age 59. However, at age 49, the government stops putting in any bonds or the grants and the bonds. There's nothing that goes in. So it's not a good investment after age 49 because it doesn't give you a tax refund. It doesn't give you any of the other things. But it's a great investment if you're younger. So I don't know. I see some of the questions. So you can find all this information on the CRA website. If you email me, which my colleague will be sending an email tomorrow to everyone, my email will be on it. I can send you the documents I have. But if you just Google RDSP, you will find all the information you need, and you can go to your bank or your financial planner with it, and hopefully they know some more. So that's it for me. And I do see there are questions. So I can read the questions because I'm on my phone. How is the age limit of 49 determined? I don't know. Probably because they don't want to give money all forever. I really don't know how 49, but that's it. So unfortunately, for those of you who are older, this doesn't really happen. Yes, I was told we can still contribute to RDSP, we will be eligible. Exactly. So basically, not even another RSP. Well, it is. It grows. For Jordy's question, it does grow tax-free in the RDSP, even if you're over 49. It does continue to grow tax-free. However, there's nothing extra. And it is taxable when you take it out. So there might be another type of vehicle that could be better for people who are older, TFSAs or RSPs or just regular. I don't know. It really depends on you and your accountant. At that point, I am not an accountant and I don't know your situation. So yeah. I thought you had to be 18 to invest. You can start early. So what happens with an RDSP is there are two parts to it. If you are a adult and you have a child with a disability tax credit, you can open an RDSP for that child. They are the beneficiary and you are the owner. And anybody can contribute to that RDSP, grandma and grandpa, everybody. But that person will only own, the person who has the disability tax credit will only own one RDSP in their lifetime. It can have different investments, but it's one RDSP, but all the others can, anybody else can put money into it. So at 15, one person is the owner and the other person is the beneficiary. When that person turns 19, they become owner and beneficiary. Okay, so just for that, for those who want to invest for their kids, you will not get, so the example, incomes over 150, if I put $100,000, will the government backdate grant deposits? No, they will give you $1,000 because it's $1,000 per year. No matter how much, they're not going to backdate it. They'll only give the maximum of $1,000 per year. And I don't think it can go back, but you should go look, but I don't think it's the maximum anyways. Even if you put 100,000 is $1,000. So if you put $1,000, it'll still be $1,000. It really just depends on your income. So that doesn't really matter. The beneficiary is the person who is eligible for the disability tax credit, which means the holder of the certificate of disability. So the person living with type 1 diabetes is the beneficiary. Okay. Well, that's a good question.
Would it be easier for you if I read the questions so you don't have to
Oh,
scroll on your
I'm
phone?
looking at it in front of me. It's fine.
Okay, just wanted to check.
No, yeah, the system discriminates, diagnosed in our 60s. I don't know if I haven't seen any advocacy to change the ages. We work so hard about the disability tax credit that I'm not sure about the grants and bonds, but that's a good question. So, yeah, thanks. That's a good question. Yeah, there we go. So John Christine Dixon answered about the RDSP. Is it fully taxable? Yes, it's taxable, just like everything else, except for a TFSA. It's taxable, but meaning whatever's left of it to your inheritance, like the people who are going to get, like everything, like your RSP is fully taxable, everything. It's just like it gets spent, right? So, but it's not taxable. It's only taxable when you take it out at the rate that you take it out. If you take out $20,000 a year and that's all you have, it's only taxed at $20,000 a year. So it's like everything else, but a TFSA is not going to give you 3 times your money every year. So it is a really good way to save, especially for somebody who can't save for themselves. This has been a lifesaver for many, many parents of kids who have serious disease, who can never work or can't retire. So it's really good. Yes, we do have the French version, which was the one I did yesterday. I mean, an hour ago. Is it tax-free or tax deferred? It is tax deferred. Well, TFSA is not tax deferred. TFSA is non-taxable even when you get it out. It's like an RSP in terms of tax deferred. It is like an RSP, tax deferred. Once you put money, so an RDSP is like a basket and you choose the investment.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think we may have lost her again. Let me just message.
Somebody kicked me out of the meeting. It's
Okay, you're back.
Yeah, somebody kicked you out of the meeting.
We've got a gremlin in the call tonight. I don't know what's going on.
We do have a gremlin in the call.
But you're back, and I know we're close to the end, but if you want to stay on, everyone will do our best to get to every question, if that's okay, Rosalie.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay.
So how do you grow your money? You grow your money by doing a proper investment. So an RDSP is just the name of the program, like an RSP. It's just the name of the program, and you choose your investments, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and that's how it grows. So that's it. So it is an account, but it's an investment account. So choose your investment. Choose your investment wisely. You want it to grow. You don't have to do anything for your matching grant dollars. They will do it automatically yearly. So there's nothing else you have to do. They're going to look at your family income and deposit accordingly. So great, lifetime limit. It is 200,000 is your lifetime limit for contribution. 70,000 is the limit that the government will put in. So the max amount you can put in is 200,000, and the max amount the government will put in is 70,000. That is for the grant, but the max amount they will put in for the bond, if you're a lower income, on top of that would be 20,000. Yeah, I don't know. You'll have to look about Talia's question about financial, it allows you to do direct investing on your own. You should look at your financial institution and see. So that is something to discuss with your financial institution, with your financial planner, how you want to do it. So really, I'm not aware of any financial, but doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. So you can do it self-directed. I don't know. Please talk with your institution to find out. The original contributions to the RSP are not taxable, only the growth and grants. Yes, exactly. That's also, thank you for that clarification, Dixon's. How do you sign up? Bank or any of those institutions that are listed on the CRA. It is something that you go to your financial people for. Rollover. Oh, I cannot explain a bit more about the rollover right now. It is very complicated. It really depends on your income and how much and when you got the disability tax credit. So I would suggest you go onto the website of the CRA. It's very explained there. So, and we don't have time for that one. So I really suggest you go to the CRA website and it'll tell you what you can do, and then talk with your financial person. Exactly. The Dixons are really on this. You talk to your people once you're approved. That's exactly right. Will the child disability benefit be retroactive for the date of diagnosis? It's from the disability tax credit day. That's the answer. And there you go.
We have one person, Rosalie, with their hand up.
Okay, go ahead.
Maria, did you want to unmute yourself to ask your question? If you're still there. Maria, are you still there? Okay, maybe we've lost her, but her hand is somehow still up. But I know we're right at 9 o'clock, but are there any last questions before we call it an evening with a little bit more adventure than I think we're used to and we normally hope?
Exactly. This has been In all the years I've been doing this, first time I ever got kicked out, first time anything ever happened like this. I'm very sorry, but we got it back up and running. Yeah. Yeah, also we can't take the RDSP out. That is so true. The child disability benefit retroactive, I don't think so. But you'll have to look at it from, if you look at the government, but I don't think so. It's, it could be, maybe it is retroactive to when your child got the disability tax credit. But as soon as you get the disability tax credit, then the disability benefit should have kicked in right away. If it didn't, then for sure it could be retroactive. So you have to look for that. But the disability benefit only starts when the disability tax credit is approved.
Okay. That was rapid fire at the end, Rosalie. Thank you very much. And Rosalie did just deliver this presentation an hour ago in French as well. So she's had a very long and intense night without having all of the technical difficulties that we also bumped into. So Rosalie, just thank you again so much. I know how much you care about this and ensuring that everybody in the T1D community can access all the benefits and credits that they're entitled to. So thank you for the presentation and for being part of that. I put Rosalie's email in the chat and you'll get it again tomorrow. She's very willing to take any questions, send you some of her documents that she's put together on this to help you access these benefits if you haven't already. I also want to recognize Abbott and Insulet, who provide support that allow us to put this event on. I hope that you will join us next month when we talk about a clinician perspective on diabetes devices. And I just want to thank everyone for coming and giving us some of your evening tonight. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate your patience with all these difficulties. Yeah, it'll be fun for the recording for those who couldn't come.